All right. Mine, that was fast. We're live already. That was quick. And we're live on YouTube. So there we go. Oh, let me mute my phone.
You've got mail.
Yeah, I know.
We're for the ones who pay attention.
Oh, what the hell is this?
You've got
The
mail.
ones who fight.
God damn it. There we go. Sorry. Pressing buttons and it's what the hell is that there? There we go. Okay. Sorry. It's I'm with everybody again. Yeah. Hit the wrong button and everything started playing. Yeah, so hey, Gizzard, Gary, good to see you. I know it's 7:01. I'm live. Where everybody else is, I'm not sure, but you know, there. I mean, I went to the post office this morning to mail to Live Moo his swag pack, and the post office was closed. It wasn't meant to be. It was during operating hours. So God knows what happened there. So I will have to go back again in the morning. No. Anyway, look at that. Loads of people are coming in now. So let me introduce my panelists to everybody. At the moment so far, we have New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us, folks.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here. All right. First in the chat tonight was Gizzard Gary, To Live Moo, Raphael, Jacob. Who else we got? That's it. They're just talking amongst themselves is what's happening here. So, all right. There's got to be a couple of lurkers back there somewhere. I know there has to be. So, yeah, we'll just give them a couple more minutes to come in, then we'll get on with my topics. I decided just a quick note on my build. I haven't got the upper yet because I'm waiting for either Thanksgiving sales if it goes down anymore. If it doesn't, oh well, But I did order a scope, even though I haven't got the upper yet to stick it on. But I did order a scope, and that's part of one of my topics too. So anyway, here's my question. Now that we have a new president elect, where do you think 2A is going to go in the new administration? Or even with the courts, per se. Do you think it's good for us? Or it's going to be the same old, fighting everything all the way to the courts? Plus, I mean, everybody's talking about, well, I say everybody, I'm talking about the 2A community here online. Are all going on about national reciprocity, and of course, a lot of the blue states like California, Illinois, New York are all up in arms about it. They're screaming, you can't do that, state rights and all that crap. So I don't know. I think they can, personally. I mean, I don't see how, if it was passed through Congress, excuse me, and into law, that makes it, it makes it the the law of the nation, unless it can be proved unconstitutional, and I don't see how it can be. If you go to what Bruen and the Heller cases, both of those 2A cases, it doesn't say nowhere in the Constitution that you have to have a permit to carry, and it doesn't say in the how did they word it? From when the Constitution was written, in the history and all that kind of good crap. There's nowhere in there does it say anything about permits. So I think it wouldn't pass that case wouldn't go anywhere in the court because it couldn't be proven that it was unconstitutional. I think it's more of a fear thing. I think, like the anti-gunners are always going to say it's it's going to be the bloodbath like the Old West. You don't know how much training somebody has from a different state who comes into our state. Well, that's another thing. Don't get me wrong. I think everybody should do training if they can, but there's nowhere in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights it says you got to have training to be able to oh, what did it say? I lost my connection to my camera. Oh, can you still hear me, Rob?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. It just said I lost my camera. So, yeah. So there's nothing in the Constitution or Bill of Rights saying that you, where was I talking about? How you have to have a permit and all that good stuff. But and it doesn't say you have to have training, So I think that anybody trying to say it's unconstitutional is not going to win. But, like here, like here in Indiana, we're what you call permitless carry or constitutional carry, whatever you want to call it. So, there's no requirement for me to have a permit. So Indiana gives one. If national reciprocity happens and say I come to New York, I do have a lifetime Indiana permit anyway. So I would imagine every state gives one, whether you're constitutional or not, I think, for reciprocity purposes. I imagine they do. But so I'll be able, with that Indiana permit, I should be able to carry in New York for argument's sake. I don't know. I just find it, that's just one of the things I was thinking. And will Congress pass some gun laws? I don't think so, to be honest with you. And for the simple reason, I said this last time the Republicans had the House and the Senate and the White House. To pass a law, there's only a certain ones that you don't need it, but all the rest of them, 95% of them, bills that go through Congress, you need 60 votes to beat the filibuster in the Senate. If you don't have 60 votes, it's dead. And there's only a 53 senators, 53 Republicans, and was it 46, 47 Democrats or whatever? So the Republicans don't have 60 votes. So don't get all mad and butthurt that Trump's done it to you again. It's not him. It's Congress. And what makes it worse, I don't give a shit how nice he's sounding right now, but the new leader who they picked today for the Senate, the guy from South Dakota or North Dakota or wherever he's from, he's an anti-Trumper anyway. Unless I'm reading shit wrong that I've heard. So you got to have somebody who's on your side in the Senate to bring the bills to the floor. Or what I'm thinking, he's going to bring them to the floor, put them out to vote. They're not going to reach the 60. Then he can sit there and look right at the camera and lie to your face and say, well, I tried to pass it, knowing damn well that he's stopped it from getting 60 votes somehow. You know, they're, I don't know. I just don't like him being, I think it was a bad, there we go. My camera's back. I think it was just a bad choice, in my opinion. But then again, I mean, we definitely didn't want Cornyn. He's the one that led the Republican charge on that gun control bill that went through in 22. You know, then all right, Rick Scott claims to be a Trump supporter, but when they had the Douglas shooting in that high school, you know, where what's his name rode his bicycle all the way from home to try to claim he was there when it all went down. He brought in red flag laws. He rushed those through. He caved to peer pressure on the red flag laws. And I think there was some other thing he did too in Florida. I can't remember what it was. You know? So, hey, Vanessa, Jacob, good to see you. Kevin in New York, good to see you too. So, so that's, I got a feeling though, what's bothering me, unless I haven't, be honest with you, I haven't been on the ball today per se, because when this, not the Supreme Court of the United States, but when the Supreme Court or whatever, Illinois or the court that covers that state, you know, with the where they said what they call assault rifles and stuff is unconstitutional. I haven't heard whether they've appealed it or, you know, want to appeal it or not. You know, the governor of Illinois wants to appeal it, you know, because eventually, you know what's going to happen. It's going to end up in the Supreme Court. And do they want that? I mean, personally, myself, I don't think they have. I wouldn't be surprised your governor there in New York and governor of California is going to him. Take one for the team. Don't push it. Because if it goes to the Supreme Court and we lose, the whole country has to sell them. Right now, we can still keep our bands going. Or with you in New York, you got to have a fixed stock and all that good crap, and you can't have certain gadgets on it and shit, you know. But I think that one will. I think if the Supreme Court takes up a case for assault weapons, if they take it, they might not take it, even though, because it comes down to, I mean, like half the nation or just under half the nation's pissed off that Trump won, right? How, I mean, are you going to alienate a big portion of the country by saying we know that there's nothing, it's a semi-automatic pistol, but they've been brainwashed for years that it's a scary weapon and it don't be allowed. And if they say it, I mean, I think they should go ahead and do it and alienate the people who are retards. But I don't know. I just hope the court doesn't cave to pressure like that. They're thinking, well, we can't upset half the nation by doing a law that they're. But again, they done Roe versus Wade, so they might go ahead and do that on an assault weapons ban. For whatever an assault weapon is. But anyway, I've rambled on. What's your 2 cents there, New York Outcast? Where's 2A going to go now?
Well, you went on a lot of stuff, so I don't know. I'm hesitant to predict anything because honestly, I don't know. I really don't trust any of them, so I really can't say. So, yeah, it's.
What? You can't see. You
I
don't
guess
know where.
I don't know. I guess that's the best way to put it. So I just really I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. So I
Yeah,
don't think Trump's
basically
gonna
that's it.
Yeah, I don't think Trump's gonna have any major push towards the Second Amendment. Personally, but yeah, he's not really who makes laws anyway. So it's not really
Yeah.
100% relevant. He can put pressure, suggestions, or something, but so I don't really know. I mean, I think yeah, if we had decent people, I don't think we'd be this far down the rabbit hole as it is, personally. So I think all these politicians are out for their own best interest. Honestly, they don't really give a shit. So whatever way the wind blows in their favor is the way they're probably going to go.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. I mean, that's all we can do is see how it goes. We can have a lot of wishful thinking, but it all depends on issue. It's I want it to be good, but I'm not holding out much hope. I know that's sort of like a negative Nancy answer, really. But I'm just going on past.
Well, it's a learned response. I mean, if you look back at what we've thought, what's happened, overall, we're getting shammed. We've been getting shammed when it comes to rights, in a lot of senses. So, I mean, we get all happy when we get something back, but in the end, we shouldn't have to fight for this anyway. Shouldn't matter if somebody else is scared because of our firearms. I really don't give a shit. It doesn't
I
matter.
don't either.
Doesn't have to convince you it's good for all of us. I personally don't care. If you want to be that way, be that way. It's America.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be a problem. Your concern shouldn't affect me, basically. So I really, to me, I don't, I don't know. I think it's kind of crap. Yes, we've had some wins, and I will, give credit there, which is all great. It is good, truly is good. But it's not something where it's just, day and night, snowballing down the hill. Not in my opinion, where it's coming back to where it should be. Because if that's the case, we'd remove half the laws on the books. I mean,
Yeah.
we really wouldn't need any of this. And they're not going to talk themselves out of a job, power, money, connections, anything like that. So, now I sound like the negative Nancy, but I think it's a learned response from what we've seen before. If you stick your hand on a burner, you usually get burned. So the next time you're by the flame, you're concerned you're going to get burned. It's just what it is. So they can call it negative, they can call it whatever, but it's what we've become, what we've learned. So it's been the cycle. Put it that way. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, Gizzard Gary says it's not a matter of trust. You elect the people most likely to be pro 2A, and then you keep at them to promote and protect 2A. trust but verify. Yeah, I mean, we do try to put people in there that are going to be 2A, but
Oh,
a lot of times what happened is the person we think is 2A doesn't come through. You know, then
right, but
you
most of the time we're picking out of a handful of people that are placed there, a handful of people that get the support, get the backing. There's a bunch of other people, but we never even know their names half the time. So,
yeah,
uh, without them being put up there for us to select from, that's all part of the problem. Doesn't have to be a career politician. It could be another regular guy. I mean, I would trust a regular guy that works down at the factory more than I would a career politician, almost on any damn issue.
yeah,
So I don't know, but we never get regular people. We don't get statesmen. We get these career politicians. So,
yeah. And really, that should never be a thing. A career politician. I've said it before. It should never be a thing. You know, and to me, you do a couple of. I mean, I'm not. I had an argument the other day about term limits. I'm not going to go into that. But what I'm saying, how you're meant to do a term or two, then go back to your farm. You're not meant to work your whole life as a politician. That isn't how it was set up, but that's why we got the issues we have now. That's my opinion. But let's not go into that one anyway. Because that could go down another rabbit hole. Yeah. But here I got another. We can carry on with that, or I can come up with another topic. You ready for another topic?
sure.
All right. This one's not political either. Right? All right. A country, say an Eastern Bloc country, like they used to be, or some still are, or, Korea, Taiwan, China, any of those, clone a firearm like my P64 CNR gun I got. It's a Polish P64. If you didn't know the difference, you think it was James Bond's gun. You know what I'm saying? Because they cloned it. But it ain't a problem. Oh, call it milsurp, and that gun's good to go. Get one of those countries. I'm not talking about 10, 20 years ago when milsurp, but I'm talking about now. When one of those countries take a high-priced rifle scope and put one out at a budget price, everybody says, "Oh God, that's crap." But it's okay for a firearm, but it's not okay for a scope. Yeah, because some of yes, there is some crap scopes out there, but if you do your research, some of those budget scopes, they've got just, they're made. Most scopes today are made over in China anyway. They just stick different names on them, So how do you know one of those budget brands, for argument's sake? I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I'm trying to think of a big company. Vortex, is that the name of a scope company?
Yeah, but Vortex is typically mid-range or lower.
Okay, I'm just saying, but I'm saying one of those,
Mid-range, yes,
how do you know that company who makes it for Vortex makes the exactly same one, makes it exactly the same, but sells it to one of those off-the-wall brands for half the price of a Vortex? Does that make it a bad scope? Because I know they had a bad reputation, and there. I mean, I know the old saying, you get what you pay for what you get, and all this kind of crap. I understand that, and to a certain degree, that is still true. But there is bargains out there, good scopes at a cheap price. If you research the companies that are making them, I'm just saying. But I just get it just annoys the shit out of me. You know, people. I mean, to me, I personally, I'll buy a cheap scope. You know, and because I mean, what do? I go shooting out in the backyard, a couple of 100 yards at the max. So I don't need a scope to shoot 1,000 yards. Right? So a cheap scope works for me. So I mean, but it seems that to me, to buy a scope that costs more than the actual goddamn firearm you're shooting it on is asinine, in my opinion. You know, I just don't get it. People try to scope shame you, is what it is. And I guess why I'm saying this, I was in my chat the other day. I told you that I get on the chat I go to on Discord with a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
They tried to scope shame me.
Yeah.
They almost succeeded.
I had a feeling something like that was the cause of this conversation. But
they almost succeeded. You know? But you know, because I've already ordered it.
Yeah.
Right? I almost hit the cancel button. You know, to cancel my order, but I didn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it, Rick. I think you nailed it kind of on the head with, what do you do? What are you going to use it for? So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for you to have something all high end that you're never going to put to its actual potential over at your buddy's place with maybe 100 yards. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Shit hits the fan. I don't see you fast roping, running around playing Ranger or any of this type of stuff. So I don't understand, in that sense. So, now, I mean, could it be maybe better? A little clearer? Sure. I mean, could you have a better setup? Could you have a computer in it so it figures out, everything for you?
That stuff, but
sure. Thermal or infrared, whatever. Course, but it's do you personally need all that? I don't know. I mean,
I just need to
I can
zero it in.
understand.
I just need to zero it in, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand spending some high end money on it, but I would expect you're a contractor or you're somebody that takes people out big game hunting, something where you have money invested in this, not just for cool points.
Yeah.
I mean, but hey, to each their own. People spend money in their own damn ways, but I mean, the biggest thing is, can you hit what you're aiming at? To me, that's the biggest thing I'm concerned with. Can you make it functional? Like, can you use it? Does it do the job you need it to do? And then that's all
what I was trying to get at is
else is extra luxury, benefit.
But today, the glass, I mean, between a high-end scope and a budget one, the way they do it today, right? There ain't a lot of difference in that glass today. Now, 20, 30 years ago, yes, but today, I don't think, from my research, there's not a lot of difference.
Well, there's gases to consider. There's coatings, the housings, weight. So I mean, there's a lot to consider if we want to start nitpicking in a sense. But again, is it going to improve your hunt? Is it going to be that much different to you, noticeable? I mean, for your lifestyle, then I think in some cases, some people just like to pay more. I think that's just what it is. They feel comfortable. They don't have to worry about getting shamed by their buddies or something. I think that's a lot why new people buy Glocks. not that they're more, but just because the cops got them, everybody's got them. So it's a well-known name. So they just, as soon as they get into guns, they go for a Glock. So yeah,
yeah, I agree
yeah,
with
it
you.
just seems
And
to be like the thing to do. I don't know. It's a safe route you can take where you're not going to get shamed unless you run into like a SIG guy or me. I don't know, but
yeah, I guess so. You're right. But I mean, I was trying to think like this. I mean, this cheap ass. Well, it ain't cheap ass really. I got it on sale. I mean, it's a budget gun. I mean, it all I'm gonna say is it was less than 200, but more than the actual price of it was more than 100. But I had coupons and everything else. I got it below 100. You know, but it has all the coatings on the lenses. It has lockable turrets. You know, it has what they call it, parallax, where it's actually on the side where you can turn it to focus it even better and shit like this. Has all kinds of gadgets on it. But you know, just because it's a budget brand, people think it's crap. You know, and I'm saying it more likely one of the higher end brands. I can't think of it's not Vertex. It's another brand out there that it looks identical to them. And I read the specs of both of them, and they're both the same. You know, so what I'm saying is just because they put a different name on it doesn't make it any worse. People are just trying to scope shame me. That's what it is. You know, and I'm just saying. So mainly for other people out there, you know, if you see a budget scope you like, buy it. You know, if it does what you want it to do, you know, I bet you that this scope that I'm getting will hold 0 quite easily. No problems. If it's a crap scope, I tell you what, I'll come back on here and say my friends were right. I should never have bought it. That's how confident I'm in it. You know, just ask me once I finally get it and get my gun all set up, because I'm putting it on the 308, so it's going to take some punishment. You know, so I don't know. It just kind of it irked me when you know, and it almost got to me. It almost got to me. I almost hit the cancel button, but then I said, "Fuck it."
yeah. I mean, they could always throw in the difference and help you buy a nicer one.
Yeah.
If it's gonna make them happy. I mean,
Tony York says, I've never bought a high-end scope. I have never been let down by one either. Yeah. I mean, that scope that's sitting back there on top of that AR-15 is a cheap-ass scope. I mean, I've shot quite a few rounds through that thing. I know they're not that hard, you know, on recoil and shit, but it's never lost 0 or what you call it or anything. I set it, and I haven't touched it since. The only thing is, the other day my son shot it, and he messed around with it to get it focused into his eyeballs, right? And all I had to do was change it back to where I like it. But I mean, actually, he shot it better than I did. So, you know. But it's good. Oh, even this new one I got has got the lockable turrets, and you can even reset 0 on them. You know, it's got all that stuff that the high ends have. I think it's a damn good deal. So, yeah. But anyway, there we go. That was my soapbox there. You know. So.
I don't know. Could jump back to that whole follower speech I was giving about how people just got to do what's cool or perceived to be cool. I don't know. So, yeah. work a lot harder just to impress other people, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If that's what you want to do with your time in life, I don't know. I mean, if you got to surround yourself with people you need to impress, they might not be the people best to be surrounded with. I don't know.
I've
It's
got
all a matter
myself,
of perspective, I guess.
yeah. Years ago, I got myself in debt trying to, get the best of this, the best of that, because what other people thought, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in some cases, it makes sense. Don't get me wrong, but not in every case. And that's what seems to be average people are trying to do, whether it's cell phone, clothes, you know, vehicles, housing, all the gadgets. Everybody wants the newest, best thing. So and if you want to work like a slave for all the shiny shit that's outdated in 2 years anyway, then I mean, knock yourself out.
I agree with you. I'm not arguing with you there. You know, I mean, even, like even, I remember years ago, you know, people used to piss and moan about the old Japanese cars when they first started coming over here. You know,
Yeah,
you used to get you got a lot of extras for the same price that you would pay for a basic American car.
yeah.
And you would get, I saw nothing wrong with it. But eventually the American car started throwing all that shit in there without charging you extra for it. You know, I thought it was a good thing that they were forced to, you know, put that a lot of that stuff in there as as standard like the Japanese did. I mean, the Koreans done the same thing. Isn't it Kia and what's the other one they make? Aren't they Korean?
Uh, what is it, Hyundai and
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
they
yeah.
were a little rough when they first got here, but you know, they're not a bad car if you actually.
Uh, it's debatable. They've been up and down.
Yeah, but
They've had a lot of transmission issues, this and that. And, they get that fixed, and motors are getting toast in 30, 40,000 miles. They're switching those out.
see now the problem
There's
is I
a
understand
lot
what
up
you're
and
saying
down
there,
with them.
but a lot of people start tearing things down, and they've never even had one. I'm talking about cars, scopes, a firearm. You know,
Yeah, a lot of cases. I mean, people maybe forget to distinguish what they personally know, experience versus
yeah,
what the you know rumor, scuttlebutt, whatever you want to call it is. So
yeah, they just repeat what they've been hearing for years, and
basically, yeah,
you know,
yeah. But I mean, we could all be guilty of that if we don't stop ourselves and think. In some
oh yeah,
cases, So
yeah,
especially if you're just throwing stuff out quickly. So I don't know. Yeah. Something we should all watch for, obviously, especially when we're, you know, having these conversations, debating political shit and everything else going off third, fourth, fifth, 20th party information.
true,
Yeah,
true.
sometimes it's really not worth the argument.
I agree with you, Abigail. Hashtag abolish the ATF. Will it ever happen? Is another story. Personally, I think Trump needs to fire the a hole they got in charge right now and put somebody in there. I mean, I don't know if saying put somebody who knows what they're doing. The ATF, we don't really need them. I don't think. Well, definitely not for the firearm side. I don't know about the alcohol and tobacco. You know what I'm saying? But you don't need them for. But it seems to me they spend most of their time going after the firearms instead of going after the alcohol and tobacco. So, let alone the explosives. So, what can I tell you? Hey, talking about firearms, I was looking at a magazine yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. Air rifles. Have you seen the price of those and the calibers they come in and what you can do with them?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah, yeah. I mean, some of those cost more than a standard firearm for sure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
And
they're really big in other countries. Europe, stuff like that. Overseas, there's where
yeah,
they don't
they're
really have a
big.
Second
I know they're
Amendment.
big in England now because
Yeah,
they're so tough on firearm laws over there now.
and
You
they
know.
have lots of competitions, like big matches. Believe Olympics as well, stuff like that. So it's a big deal. It's just I think not so big here because most of us step up to actual firearms.
Yeah, yeah. But I was saying,
Yeah.
I was looking at this and I'm thinking, damn. And you know, you don't have to fill out a 4473. You know, and hell, you could, some of them have, hell, you could, some of the calibers. I mean, they had one that was a rifle. What I liked about it, though, they had, um, you know, they had a rifle there, an air rifle that was in 357 caliber. You know, I thought, Jesus, you know, and also what I liked though, they had. I know it wasn't an air. Well, it wasn't an air rifle. Yeah, it was and it wasn't. It ran on air, but was a high end. I think it was close to $1,000. It was actually a BB gun, right? That looked identical to an AR-15, but was fully auto. Fired 1,200 BBs a minute. God, I would like to have one of those. You know? Oh, so yeah.
Yeah,
Anybody who would
they've
throw
come
someone in
along.
a cage over a plant or some liquor is a sorry son of a bitch. Yeah, you know. So I was reading the comment there. Sorry. Go on. What
No
were you saying?
problem. I was just saying they've come a long way since the Red Ryder BB gun. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. I
but
thought they were cool. You used to get that sort of like round tube, take the top off, and pour it inside your BB gun. I
mhm.
remember them days. You know. So I remember we used to shoot at each other with them too. Not
Mhm.
close up, but we were, I remember my dad whipping my ass one day with a belt because we, the neighbor kid and me were out, had a gun, and we were shooting it. I guess he was maybe 50 yards away or a little bit lower. He was hiding behind a big old tree. I was hiding in the kitchen behind the screen door. And time we all finished and my father got home, the back door, the screen had it looked like hundreds of tiny little holes in it where the BB went through them. I got my ass whipped for that one. I still remember it to this day.
Good.
Oh yeah, they were the good old days, Surprised that I never lost an eye. Be honest with you. And
Yeah, we had.
I got caught by a BB a couple of times, and it damn hurt.
Well, yeah,
You
we
know,
had. Same type of thing. Basically, we'd use the CO2s that way. It was seemed a little safer because other than that, people are pumping things up, 10, 12 times, who knows, many times as they want or whatever. And, that led to problems. But even with the CO2, I know I had well, at the time I was going to say a guy, but a kid. Basically, we were done, supposed to be over, walking in, and tried to shoot me. And son of a bitch missed. So, I pulled and I got him, and he was wearing like those like hammer pants at the time, like
yeah,
those thin, I don't know, running pants, I guess you can call them, not hammer pants, but It's what comes to mind. But and it actually went through his pants and embedded in his leg. So I was pretty happy about it. So because he was playing dirty. Yeah, we were done, and then he wants to try to pull some shit. So I'm glad he had something to remember me by. So. Yeah, those are the old days. No CPS, no cops, no parents were pissed. We all knew what we were getting into.
Yeah.
Back in the days where your kids started some shit and they got their ass whooped or something happened, your parents would be like, "Well, what the hell did you expect was going to happen?" So
Yeah.
not like now where the parents are as much or worse of a problem as their kids, and the kids can do no wrong. Doesn't matter if they're trying to stab little Billy to death on the playground. They could do no wrong.
Oh yeah, I know people like that. Yeah. Yeah. What's it? Oh, Tony goes, heck, my uncle went to his grave with a BB from Mike Crossman between his eyes, 50 years after the fact.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It lucky you didn't hit him in the eye with a BB. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Shit we used to do. But I said they get all bent out of shape, but we done that today.
Shit, we'd freeze snowballs, put like rocks and shit in them, nails if we could find them. We do all types of shit when we were kids like that, throwing them at each other. So, probably part of the problem these days. Everybody's so damn soft. They've been,
Oh yeah.
raised with kid gloves or whatever it is in the, young adulthood, 20, 25 years old, and mom and dad still basically wiping their ass and paying their bills.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tony goes, he shouldn't have shot at him. Yeah, back then, you want to take a shot at me, then you take the consequences when I shoot back.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Even in school, it was like that. Somebody tried jacking you up, and you laid into them really good, knocked them down or whatever. They'd say, well, you shouldn't have started it, or whatever the case is. It wasn't such a huge deal. You didn't get in trouble for defending yourself like you do nowadays. I'm not even that old, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got your ass whipped and you went home, right? You maybe got yelled at for fighting, but your parents didn't go over to the person's house, start complaining to their parents that your son beat up my son. That was more embarrassing than being beat up by the guy themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Having your parents have to come in or say something or whatever. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they were the good old days. But I'm hoping they go back to that now. In the next 4 years at least anyway.
Well, people used to have shame. They wouldn't pick their nose at the red light in the middle of traffic and stuff. They, would brush their teeth, pull their pants up, look in the mirror before they left the house. They wouldn't run around with pajamas. They wouldn't make
Actually, I
videos
do that.
about how they're getting over on the government with the welfare money.
Yeah.
All this type of shit. But now people aren't like
do
that.
what you just said. I might still look a slob, but I look in the mirror before I leave the house. I still do, even after all these years. I might not say, well, I might not be looking dapper, but I look at myself. My clothes might not be, top notch, top shelf, but they're clean. You know what I'm saying? When I walk out the door, they might be a bit frayed around the edges, but they're clean. Always, type thing. So how I turn up when I get home, if I'm dirty or what's another story. But at least I left the house clean.
Yeah.
That's the way I was brought up. So I still do it today. So there we go. Yeah. Damn, it's 10 to 8 already. Jesus. Time flies when I start talking. Yeah, I went. I was. Well, what in the hell happened today? Went over to my friend's house and we went down a diner. Today's breakfast was biscuits and gravy. And I like biscuits and gravy, but I got to be in the mood for it. So I didn't order biscuits and gravy today. It was funny. You're going to love this one. Everybody's out there is going to call me un-American now. And they said, got biscuit? I said, no, thanks. They go, well, what do you want then? You want lunch? I said, no. I said, I want a sausage and egg sandwich on a toasted bun. I said, I'll take 2 of them. You want cheese on that? I said, no. Cheese is not a breakfast food, is what I said to her.
You're lucky you didn't get thrown out, Rick. That was my place. I don't know. It'd be a tough decision.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to be polite. I just said cheese isn't a breakfast food. I could have come out with, if I wanted cheese, I would have goddamn asked for it. But I didn't. I bit my tongue. And I said cheese ain't a breakfast food. And I don't care what anybody says. Cheese ain't a breakfast food. From lunchtime onwards, it's okay. But it ain't now, if you served me up, if you invited me over your house and you gave me a breakfast sandwich and had cheese on it, I will eat it. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't believe in putting it on shit if you don't have to. Like I plan on Wednesday night, I plan on having grilled cheese sandwiches when I shut this down. See, I eat cheese. It's not that I don't eat cheese. To me, the way I was brought up, cheese is not a breakfast item.
Is it okay on chili?
Yeah, if you want it on chili, as long as you're not eating it for breakfast.
All right.
But to see what's kind of funny, which you could call me a hypocrite in a way. I don't have a problem eating bacon, egg, sausage for dinner at night. That's a breakfast meal. But I'll eat it at night. But I have a problem with eating cheese in the morning. It's just, call me weird if you want,
Definitely will. Definitely do. You're a strange one.
We all know you are a limey, Rick. That's from Tony. It seems an omelet would seem lacking without cheese. Now, I would have cheese if I had an omelet for lunch. I wouldn't be opposed to having cheese in it for lunch. But if I'm ordering an omelet for breakfast, no cheese. Sorry, it ain't happening. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's psychological, I guess. But I thought I was being nice by saying cheese ain't a breakfast item.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like you're cheese shaming the lady.
Yeah, maybe I was.
Very, very similar to this whole scope
maybe
conversation
it
we
was
just had.
This scope shaming happened yesterday, right? And so maybe it was on my mind when I went in for breakfast this morning. Yeah, I took it out on the waitress.
Yeah, it's not good, Rick. It's not good.
Hey, Deb's Diner's closing down. Closing down is the wrong term. It's shutting for a little while it gets remodeled. So God knows what I'm going to do. Because there's no other place around there. Unless you want to drive 15 miles. By the time you drove 15 miles there and 15 miles back, your miles will not even go.
I bet if you and the boys loaded up and went on over to Deb's house, she'd make you something.
Oh, I imagine she would too. Oh yeah. But But see, the guy who bought it was the guy that bought the convenience store next door that sells the great chicken and the pizzas and stuff. When I was in there picking up my chicken the other day, right? I was looking at his menu. He does do breakfast items. He does breakfast sandwiches. He does bacon. You can buy just a plate of bacon if you want. He sells that, and he sells biscuits and gravy. Whether it's homemade or frozen and heated up in a microwave, I don't know. I ain't eating it. But what I'm saying is, he does have breakfast stuff on his menu because he opens at 5 o'clock in the morning, same time the restaurant does. So I suppose we could go in there and buy something and take, or since I'm going over to my buddy's house, I have to drive past it. I could stop in there and pick up breakfast and go over to his house when we sit around the old wood stove in the morning, solving the world's problems. That would work, I guess. So, there we go.
Yeah.
See, look, Tony in the chat. I don't much care for cheese on a breakfast sandwich myself, Rick. See, there you go. See, I'm not the only one. And Tony's as American as apple pie. So I was beginning to feel that I was the odd one out here. Anyway, gentlemen and ladies, it's getting that gotta do the quiz. Oh yeah, I could go. Yeah, I went to the post office today to Live Moo, and the door was locked, and it was 9 o'clock, and on the sign it said open 8 to 1, 2 to 4 or something, or was it 8 to 12 and 1 to 4 on there, and it was 9 o'clock, and the door was damn locked. I even knocked on it, and nobody came. So I'll go tomorrow and mail your package, your swag pack that you won. So anyway, where was I going? The quiz. What in the hell was it? I know I had it here somewhere. Where in the hell was it? No, that wasn't it. Oh, man, I've lost it. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Jesus Christ, where'd it go? Let's see if it's here. Ah, here we go. Is this it? Is this it?
You trying to remember the question?
Yeah.
Was the what's the formula?
Oh yeah. What was the formula to convert mill into MOA or the other way around, MOA into mill dot? That was the question. Yeah. I wanted to know what the formula was. Oh, here, hang on a minute. I think I found it. Yeah. Yeah. It was it was to convert mill into MOA or MOA into mill. What's the formula? What I wanted to know. Email me. Get it into me by, what was it? The 4th, I believe it is. Yeah, the 4th of December is the first Wednesday of the month. Get it into me by then to be eligible for the swag pack. Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. And I said you have a good chance of winning the swag pack. So right now I've only got one entry since I mentioned it last week. You know, I don't know why you guys don't. I mean, I guess nobody wants stickers and patches or anything else. So, but I keep on doing it because I like, and in a way, I like doing it. You know, so there we go. That's what I want to know. Write it in email to let me know. You know, so I'm trying to think. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Nope, I can't think of anything. And it's all. I'm good. So, you got any closing stuff you want to say, New York Outcast?
I just want to say that I disagree with the host stance on cheese. So I think cheese is supposed to be just a given in America. You should say no cheese on that if you don't want cheese. Other than that, on the billboard it shows cheese. On the pamphlets it shows cheese. On the flyers that come to your door it shows cheese. On the commercials it shows cheese. I'm expecting cheese, damn it. Other than that, eat a salad and have a great night.
Well, no, as I said to the waitress this morning, everybody, cheese is not a breakfast item. And I stand by that. You know, but if you invite me to your house and give me a breakfast sandwich with cheese on it, I will eat it. I'll be polite and eat it. I won't to be rude to you and say I ain't eating that. You know, I'm just saying, but I personally don't believe cheese is a breakfast item. But anyway, that's enough out of me. So I want to say thank you to everybody for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I'll be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. It's been a great hour. And if you guys got any topics, email me at the same address for the competition. Rick's Life as I See It at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. If you got anything you think we need to talk about, just draw me a note and email it to me. So it's we'll leave it at that. So thank you everybody and see you next week. So with that, good night. Good night, Sabrina.